We've got the one and only Michelle Wright with us here. Hi, Michelle. How you doing?
Doing great. Hi, Wally. So nice to talk to you.
It's been it's been a couple of years since we've last chatted. Last time you were down for the Rainmaker Rodeo out in St. Albert. Had you over at the had you at our station here to come by and visit. How you been doing?
I remember it well, and I particularly remember you, and I just enjoyed getting to know you and hanging out. You're a pretty easy hang, Wally.
well, thank you so much. Michelle, big concert coming up as we celebrate our country's birthday coming up on July 1st.
Yes. We're going to be up in Wright and performing for the soldiers up there and their families and celebrating Canada Day. And it's also my birthday, Wally.
I was going to just mention that. It's always a great time to celebrate your birthday on our country's birthday. Are you able to have a little family gathering before you celebrate Canada Day when seeing that your birthday falls on the same day?
Well, all these years of being out on the road, it seems like every Canada Day I am somewhere in Canada having a party somewhere with, sometimes it's close to my family and they're there with me, or sometimes it's, in Edmonton or just some other part of the country. So I'm not with my family, but I tend to be with my band and, of course, with my family. We have my niece. Her birthday's on the 24th of June. My brother's birthday's on July 6th, and then my aunt is on July 6th. And so what we'll try to do is sometime in the summertime, we'll pick a time that we can all get together and we'll sort of celebrate everybody's birthday together. But typically I'm out somewhere on the road having a grand time with my fellow countrymen celebrating our country and my birthday, so it's pretty cool.
I always find with families, even mine, there's always these little cluster birthdays that fall all within a few days or a couple of weeks of one another. And we do that celebration in August with some birthdays there. So it's always fun to get together with them when you can. Big performance that's happening on Canada Day out in Wright. You will also be sharing the stage with a couple of other great Canadians as well. You got Dwayne Steele also on that bill.
Yes, Dwayne and I have not done much together through the years. In a little while, we recently did a lovely event in Calgary for Tim Hortons and for the raising money for the Hortons children's camp that they have up there in the Calgary area, which is beautiful. And so Dwayne and I got to see each other recently, and we're just really looking forward to hanging again. He's just one of those great country voices of our time. He's what a wonderful singer, and so I'm looking forward to hanging out with Dwayne and Richard Wood, who's a fantastic fiddle player. And Richard and I actually went to Afghanistan together, along with the Wilkinsons and Julian Austin and Diane Chase, and we performed in Afghanistan together. So it'll be lovely to see Richard again as well.
Michelle, when you were performing out there in Afghanistan for the troops, what was it like, being there, performing for the troops, but knowing that what's all going on outside of you with all the fighting and, the war around there?
Well, if you can imagine, it just simply was something that you almost can't. They briefed us before we left and saying, to let us know that we were going to have the experience of a lifetime, and that's very difficult to put into words. Until you have your own interpretation or your own sort of way of expressing what it was like to be there. Needless to say, hanging with the soldiers was really something that was pretty incredible because the pride that the Canadian soldiers take in their brothers and their sisters that are there with them, and the pride that they take in the fact that they're a fighting force to be reckoned with. We were brought around to each individual location all the everybody from the gunners to the snipers to the medics to the dental to the everybody, and they showed us around and spoke about what they do with a lot of pride. And while we were there, Captain Nicola Goddard was killed in combat while we were on stage. And it's a rare thing that happens, but it happened while we were there, and it really brought home the reality and the sacrifice that the soldier makes. And so I'm forever changed, and I'm forever proud of our soldiers.
We're talking with CCMA Hall of Famer Michelle Wright, who's going to be out in Wainwright coming up on Canada Day. And I guess this is also kind of a way to give back to the troops by being there and performing on Canada Day over at the Garrison Wainwright.
Yes, I think it does give us an opportunity. I also went up to Alert about just over a year ago. We have a military base up there, which is the farthest most inhabited part of the world up there in Alert, and it's a military base up there. So it's just a wonderful thing. Anytime you can do anything for the soldiers, it'll feel. I think it helps you to feel that you are somehow, I don't know, making a difference in their lives for that day as they are making a difference in our lives. If we need them, they'll be there for us,
It must have been very cold up there.
It was very, very cold and very, very dark, and quite an incredible experience once again.
Yeah, I can imagine that, it would be quite something else. Michelle, what have you got going on? I was up on checking out your website, your album. You still got the music coming out of the album there. Things going well there musically?
Well, it's interesting. I need to update my website. I've changed over I've got signed new management about in August, and so we've been I've had a bit of a change in my management situation, in that my business manager, Sue Ferryman, got ALS back some 13, 14 years ago. And her husband, Brian, was my personal manager, my day-to-day, and she took care of all the accounting and all the finances. And we were a pretty potent team for about 28 years. And she, about 20 years into that, got ALS and passed away a couple of years ago. And the stress of all of that was very hard on all of us, of course, and certainly on Brian. And Brian retired, and I signed new management, and it's just wonderful. Chuck Thompson is his name, and he was a part of the Judd's team. He signed up with the Judds when he was 18 years old as a publicist, and then moved into management, and then he managed Winona when she went solo for a number of years. And so he's an awesome guy, and I'm so thankful. And so we've sort of just been in the process of getting everything back in order again. And I'm really, really good at posting on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff. I do need to update my website a little more often. So let me update you on my music. I'm busy writing, and we're looking at I've been posting little snippets of the music up on Facebook here and there, and busy writing and getting the whole marketing plan together to release the next single. So hopefully in the fall we'll have a single ready to go.
All right, Michelle Wright, we're really looking forward to that, and looking forward to your performance on Canada Day. And may I might say a happy early birthday to you.
Thank you so much. Lovely to talk with you, Wally.
Thank you, Michelle. And again, if we want to keep tabs on Michelle Wright, there's social media, quite active on there. Just quickly before we wrap things up, CCMAs, are you going to be there this year?
Yeah, I sure am. Looking forward to it. It's in my home area of London, Ontario. I went to college in London, and so I will be there doing all kinds of things.
Michelle Wright, thank you so much for joining us on the program today, and we look forward to seeing you very soon sometime.
Thank you, my dear. Take care, everybody, and early happy Canada Day